Hi guys, I'm Kathleen and welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be discussing something which has been widely discussed over the social media. As we all know, we lost a very dear celebrity which had impacted many of our lives, and it got us thinking about mental health. What does it mean? What is depression? There's so many questions that went through our head when we saw this incident happen, and we asked ourselves, what is mental health? What is depression? Why are we talking about this now? How does it impact a human being? Why is it important to acknowledge? There's so many questions that all of us have. But we know better as a youth that mental health should not just be talked about during such incidences, but should also be spoken about in our everyday lives, and depression should be acknowledged. Mental health should be acknowledged by people, by the society. So because there's a lot of opinion out there, I didn't want this video to also be an opinionated video. So I brought in my dear friend Urvashi Bisht, who is a psychotherapist from Maulana Azad Medical College, and she'll be taking some questions today and answering those questions for us. So hi Urvashi, thank you so much for being here.
Hi Kathleen. Firstly, I want to thank you for this opportunity and approaching me with this incredible idea. I am really looking forward to answer all the queries that you have received.
And let's start with the first question, which is by an anonymous person who has asked, I don't seem to be as productive as I see other people during lockdown. Why am I acting so lazy?
I wouldn't call that as unproductive or lazy. That's probably something that you need at that time. That's the kind of time that you need for self-care and self-love, what you're labeling as lazy. You might be seeing multiple people on social media uploading things of what they're learning, what they're doing, but don't pressurize yourself seeing someone else doing something. Learning a new skill, doing some new course every day, every month might not be the best indicator of how efficient you are. Productivity is again a very subjective concept. I can be just resting and writing a journal, and I would consider that as productive. You might just see it as something that why not engage in learning something, right? So it's a very subjective experience, and whatever you feel like doing, do it. Don't put yourself in a position where you see yourself from the lens of other people, where you start questioning your worth, that what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. And taking care of yourself and of your mental health is extremely productive. It is not wasting time. It is not being lazy.
So the second question is about social media. Someone asked, I see every day on Instagram and Facebook people reconnecting with their loved ones and friends. Even though I'm an introvert, I have limited friends, but I've never been this insecure before. So what would you have to say to this, Urvashi?
See, now social media is supposed to act as a support system for you. It's supposed to act as a medium which allows you to stay connected with your friends and your family members. You know what's happening in their life. But if it's not helping you, or if it's not acting as a support system, I want to give you a brief idea that what you're seeing on social media stories, on Facebook and Instagram, they're all very sorted and filtered. You are seeing what these people want you to see. I'm not denying the fact that that might not be the reality, but you really cannot get an idea of what's happening in a person's life by seeing 30 seconds or 20 seconds of what they're uploading, right? So if that's not helping you in the best possible manner, maybe you would like to consider taking a break from it, where you can deactivate your account for a while. You can uninstall that app. Maybe there are applications and suggestions where you can limit time of exposing or using a particular app. Maybe you would like to use that option, and that will also help you focusing more on self. That's important because I would suggest that you should reflect on where is this feeling emerging from, because usually this feeling of insecurity creeps in when we start or we stop believing in ourselves. So you might want to take help of a professional who can help you process this and really identify where is this emerging from and resolve it for you.
So the third question is also about family. Someone has asked, I've started hating my family members because of the everyday conflict I notice in the family. How am I supposed to feel any positivity that because my family is so negative? How do I bring positivity in my life?
I actually hear this often, and it really saddens me to see that the kind of period that should help, for the families to grow their bond stronger. Instead, their love and affection is just fading off and taking the form of conflicts. And it can be very difficult to maintain that positivity in such negative space or environment where you see conflicts happening around you every day. People can get frustrated because of the lockdown. They're staying all the time in an enclosed space, and definitely there are challenging and difficult times for each one of us, and each one of us are dealing with it in our own ways. The clashes can happen, right? Because each one of us are applying our own coping mechanism here. Another way that I see it, I think this is the kind of time where the dysfunctional patterns in the family can act out and can become so much more evident because because of the force to stay together, because of the circumstances. I would see it more as an opportunity for you to maybe work. I'm not asking you to completely indulge yourself and start resolving all the conflicts, because you really need to understand, be very, very observant and act accordingly. See what is actually the main cause or cause of frequent conflicts in the family. You can just start by being very expressive with the family members. Start talking to them openly and honestly. Maybe you can start with individual conversations with family members, and when I say be observant, you can really assess the mood of the person, the time, the time frame. You can choose that efficiently, and don't just look for information to act on it. Sometimes just listen to the information to see what other family members have to express. They might be dealing with their own frustration, so once you hear them all out, you can offer better help to them, if not solutions. And if you're really sitting down with them, I would say that please refrain from putting across their faults and what makes you upset. Maybe you can place your needs first. It is definitely a better way to communicate and move towards conflict resolution, where you put your needs in forefront rather than telling the other person what you don't like about them. So these are small ways and measures that you can adopt to move towards conflict resolution. But I think I would suggest family counseling can really help in this scenario, where you talk to a professional and the dysfunctional patterns can be identified and can be resolved, and can really help the family to develop healthy patterns of living with each other peacefully.
The fourth question is something that I can relate to as well. Someone has asked, I see people doing fun activities in lockdown with the family members on Instagram stories or people. How do I deal with the fact that my family is super boring? I feel everyone else is happy except me.
See, some part of this question I've already answered in the previous question about social media. I would say that, see what you feel like seeing on social media, and then put down your phone and pick up your life from that moment. So that transition, that switch between putting down your phone and picking up your life is extremely important, because that balance is going to decide what you do in your life and on what basis you do it. So don't worry about if people are not seeing what kind of work that you're doing on self, that self-growth. If nobody is able to witness, you're not uploading it, it is absolutely fine, because eventually they are going to see it, they're going to see the outcome of it. So that transition, that switch, that balance is extremely important to refrain from replicating what you are seeing.
And the fifth question is actually asked by my friend from Jakarta. He has asked, what is the best way to improve my mental health?
See, there can be multiple ways of improving your mental well-being. To begin with, I think the first step that we suggest people is to minimize and limit watching news, social media, or reading about this pandemic, or the number of cases that are increasing, the death rate, the fatality rate. So that should be limited, because that's not going to do much of help to you, and is going to keep increasing the kind of anxiety that you're experiencing. Another can be that you start focusing more on creating a structure and creating a schedule for you. Most of the people must have joined back to their workplace, but for the ones who are still in lockdown, even the ones who are working, create a schedule for yourself, because in times like these where there's so much of uncertainty, it helps you to have more control over your life and to create a schedule according to your wish. It gives you a sense of relief, it gives you a sense of control over your life. Another, I would say, self-care is important. Rest, do not overburden yourself, don't overcompensate to get rid of this FOMO feeling because people are doing this, that. Don't overcompensate, don't engage in any of these social media challenges. Do what you feel like. I'm not stopping you. Do what you resonate with. You need not participate in every challenge, every activity. That's just going to increase the pressure on you. Keep exercising, eat healthy. Building your immunity is extremely important, and it plays a strong role in your mental health as well. So keep exercising. I think you can use this time to increase time spent with your family, that together time. Do not force yourself, because family dynamics can differ, but use this time to develop healthy communication patterns and strengthen that bond with your family members. Stay connected with your friends and family. Offer that social support whoever you feel needs it, and allow yourself to vent out whatever. Even if you're getting multiple those kind of scary thoughts, talk about them to a person that you feel is a trusted individual, a person that you feel comfortable with. And at the last, I would just say that reach out to a professional. I mean, there are multiple organizations and helplines available. Feel free to reach to a professional for help if you feel the need for, and if you feel that people around you cannot help you cope with this.
The sixth question is also asked by one of my best friends, Navjot Singh, who's asked, how do you deal with humiliation people give you after having corona? And that is actually such a great question, because I actually personally know someone who has actually been stigmatized by their whole community, because one person in their family had the virus, and they even fired the maid who used to work in their house and also went to work in different house. So they fired the maid who actually worked in other people's house, which is such a sad situation. So how would you deal with such a situation?
Well, this can be an extremely difficult situation to be in if you have been tested positive. I read it every day, how people have been ostracized, their family members are being treated this way, and how people have confused this whole concept of social distancing with physical distancing. So they want to just isolate the person. And let me tell you that there's a lot of uncertainty all around there. Like, people till date, it's been so many months, people still don't know what's safe and what's not safe. So, and they have attached this whole social stigma to it, that this is how you need to treat the person, you need to stay away, and this is how you need to react or act towards the person. So one thing that I would suggest to you is that refrain from reacting to the humiliation. If you're receiving it, respond to it. Now when I say respond, convey how you're feeling to the other person. Now, since this is new, don't act or I would say don't judge these people, because they're again coming from a space that they're completely uncertain. They are also anxious. They don't know what to do and how to act. Absolutely, humiliating somebody is not the right way to deal with it, but they're coming from that kind of a perspective. Do not attach personal meaning to it. So how they're reacting to you, how they're humiliating you, it's happening due to fear of COVID-19. So it's not a personal attack to it. It's not a personal attack to you. So do not attach a personal meaning to it, right? That's going to help you to some extent. Also, what you can do is that there are so many people now who have been tested positive and who recovered and have been tested negative. You can see that people have been sharing their stories on various platforms, so you can see that can definitely make you feel better. That can tell you how other people have been sharing the same feeling and experiences. And another way is that if you come across a person who ends up humiliating you with a very wrong notion attached to it, or who you feel that is not aware about it and is completely holds a lot of misconceptions, please educate the person. Educate the person with your experience and tell them what you have went through, what you have gone through, and what they're holding is a complete myth. It's a complete misconception. Clarify it for them if the position is such, if the circumstance allow you to do that. And talk to people, talk to your family members and friends, whoever you feel can support you to make you feel better. And in such time, I would say that absolutely focus on your feelings and your needs. Bring the focus again and again to your needs and feelings. That's going to help you deal with this a little better. And I think that's all that I would suggest you can do. And if you feel that you are unable to deal with the humiliation or you're on your own and your family members are not able to support you, reach out to a professional. Reminding you again, there are so many organizational helplines available out there, and I just wish you that you recover soon and you're able to fight this through.
So that's it for the question, guys. I really hope that this video has helped you in any way possible. So share it with people that you love and who you think that might need this video, and give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much to my friend Urvashi Biz for appearing on this video, and I'm putting her Instagram link right here, so you can click on it and follow her and even shoot some questions to her if you want. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Until next time, peace.